Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of my Out of the Park baseball series with the Pittsburgh Pirates, and we're here of course at the beginning of the 2026 season, and of course when I last left off we set our opening day roster to go forward with this season. And one thing that I forgot to mention was the preseason predictions. I haven't been looking at these too much because I don't think they're too accurate, especially when they have things in here like there's a hitter somewhere in here that just should not be in here. Abraham Toro, especially when it's predicting guys like Abraham Toro to be top 10 hitters in the National League. I mean, he wasn't even a regular for the Rockies, and he wasn't even a league average hitter in Colorado last year. So again, I kind of take these predictions with a bit of a grain of salt, but look how they have the NL Central stacking up this season. They have us being first in the division. They actually have us being the first ranked offense as well. It's kind of interesting. Because of seeing this, I kind of just want to take a look around the division and see why it'd be like that. I mean, I don't think this Cardinals offense is very bad, so it's kind of interesting to me why they think so I don't know why they have that team being so bad, but again, it does have us winning the division by a game, so cool to see. So hopefully we can actually do that. That would be very good. The Pirates have not won the NL Central in a very long time. And then one thing that I have that could make us even better for the future is a trade for Juan Verduzco. It's something I talked about in the last episode, I believe. I'm trading him, and I think I'm going to go ahead and do that right now before we get into anything else. I just really don't like his ratings. I mean, OSA has him rated really highly. They also have him already a 35 overall. The accuracy is pretty low, though. Our head scout, they don't have him very far along. They have his potential of 70, which is good. But, I don't really see how that potential could be realized with the potential that he has in all of his pitches here. He's 24th ranked prospect. Of course, that goes on OSA ratings. But yeah, he's already 23. He's just about to hit Double-A, but he just hasn't been very good. He's been fine stats-wise, but I just don't think that he's going to be able to have his potential realized. So, I'd rather go out and get prospects that I think, would have their potential realized. So we're going to go ahead and do that now, and I found a few deals that are interesting that I'll show you here in a second. So there are a good bit of offers. This Nesbo Paulino guy is interesting. Jackson Wiggins is being offered up here, a fantastic pitching prospect for the Reds. There are lots of good young arms being offered up here. Lots of pretty good players, but I do have my eye on one particular team. Wow, Tim Cade is even being offered up here. He already has 4 years of team control, though, so I'm not too particularly interested in doing that. But there is a deal here that I actually researched a little bit earlier that I was looking at, and that's Yohandy Morales here and John Cooper Williams. Now, I can add something pretty small to this deal to make it work. So in this deal for these two prospects, we're going to be throwing in basically two small add-ins. Brea here, who was scouting discovery, and Brody Brecht, who is a 6th-round pick actually in 2024. He's a bit of a two-way player, has some hitting potential there, and some potential as an outfielder, but I'm deciding to go this route because Yohandy Morales, while he isn't a very good hitter, he actually pretty much played a full season last year and really wasn't good hitting-wise, but he is an excellent defender at the shortstop position. Not quite the range that Almeida has, but again, Almeida is down for an unknown amount of time right now. So, Morales is able to get us someone who can fill that role. He can't really hit. His hitting ratings aren't even as good as Almeida's maybe, but he's a guy who can maybe develop a little bit more, can develop into a little bit more power maybe, and get his discipline up there a little bit. And we're just need someone desperately at shortstop. But here is the prospect that I'm particularly interested in, John Cooper Williams. Now OSA doesn't like him as much as my scout, but with the ratings that my scout thinks that he can develop into, I mean, he already is fairly developed, 35 overall, but if he can develop that discipline and contact, even that avoid kids a little bit, he's going to be a very useful player. He's a stellar defensive outfielder in center field. Right now he is slotted to play right, but he is a heck of an outfield prospect. And, I really chose this over the other deals for a lot of the Major League ready pitchers. And that's because we're kind of maxed out of pitching as it is. We have some good depth as it is with young arms in AAA. So I didn't really want to just add a Major League arm who, be expiring soon. We are pretty tight with money as it is. So adding another one of those guys wouldn't really help us. Also, Verduzco is kind of, one of those prospects who, would be coming up throughout us, getting and built into a pretty strong contender here. So I kind of wanted to keep that, because, with us, being so short on money, we're going to have an influx of guys who are making the minimum and producing. So, getting these two prospects, I think that's something that, we can accomplish, getting these guys over, some of the Major League ready arms and even some of the prospects that were, pretty much Major League ready. These guys, Morales, he fills a hole for us now, but Williams, he can fill a hole for us in the next few years to come, as we're done with this. And the Yankees are a rebuilding team, so, getting a top pitching prospect like Verduzco, he definitely helps them out. So we're going to go ahead and do that deal. With that deal being done, we have to go ahead and fix our Major League roster. Bay, we're going to be sending him down, and we will have Morales be our starting shortstop. We'll get our depth charts according to Martinez, and Morales is going to be our starting shortstop against right and left-handed pitching. And then when Almeida comes back, whenever that may be, we'll kind of go ahead and address that when we need to. So with that said, we have our opening series here against Atlanta, where we take the first game. Looks like Ramos had a bit of a home run streak going there. Alright, and here on April 9th, we have Quinn Priester, who's gone down for a week here, which is kind of concerning because he already, is fragile. And, we're using him as a closer. Almeida is ready to come off the injured list, so we're going to put him on a bit of rehab assignment, even though the AAA season hasn't started yet, just because it'll give him an opportunity to not come up and have some rest. So we'll just keep him on rehab assignment for a few days. With that, we also need to bring up a arm. I think we'll go with Kawasaki for now to replace Quinn on the roster, and then Webb takes over the closer duties, and Kawasaki is a middle reliever. Pretty decent here through the first bit, playing about 500 ball, and that is really tough. Braden Webb, who we of course just acquired in the offseason, he is already down with a major arm injury. He's going to be down for a few months. His season is most likely done after that, but again, good thing we have a good amount of pitching depth here, because we definitely will need it. Let's see who we might call up next. It might be Christopher Cruz, although I think I might give priority here to established Major League relievers like Wyatt Mills. So we'll go ahead with him, and then he's going to slot into the middle relief spot. And then here in late April, we actually sustain another injury. Here's Hudson Head. He's going to be down for about a month, which is pretty killer because he had been, a pretty decent power bat for us so far through the season. And I don't necessarily know how we're going to replace him. Don't want to call up Cooper Williams yet, so we're probably going to have to go with, someone from the minor leagues here. I actually don't know who we're going to go with. Our outfield depth was a little bit depleted in the offseason. TJ White, I don't think I'm quite ready to call him up. So honestly, I think we just might go with Bay, which I don't know even where he is here. Here he is. He can play a little bit of outfield, but he probably won't. Ramos is sliding over to the left, and we have Florial pop in here. And then, we have enough outfielders to cover. Palma, he'll get his at-bats against left-handed pitching. And then Bay can play a little center field, so we'll go ahead and cover it that way. And Priest is ready to come off the injured list here. And because his injury wasn't that long, we're just going to send him right up. Looks like Kobos is really struggling. I know he has options. So we're just going to go ahead and send him down. Priester will bring him back up. With Almeus, I actually went ahead and decided to DFA him just because he's out of options. And Morales is actually hitting pretty fine at the major league level. Almeus does in fact clear waivers. And Morales, he's not hitting as well, but we're going to be giving him the chance to kind of hit his way out of it. So we'll see how that ends up going. Through about the first month of action here, our team has actually been pretty good so far with the bat. We're pitching very well. Also scoring a decent bit of runs in first place. Araco's been good off the bench. Gonzalez has been super good. Rodfed has an insane BABIP. And our outfield is definitely our weakest point. Robinson's been good himself. Florial has not been good. Ramos has been pretty good, but everyone pretty much except Florial has been doing pretty good. Our bench outfield bats are doing pretty poorly again. Araco is doing pretty good there. Pitching wise, of course, it said that we have a pretty good pitching wise. You look at our bullpen here, just filth, just straight filth here. We really don't even have anyone in the fours with FIPS, and it's Nelson and Kirby, two guys who will definitely bounce back as we go here. So that is a pretty good look there for us. Also, through this far in the season, the Reds are pretty much right on us here, and we're ending a series here. See if we can get the series cap against the Reds here, and then we're also playing St. Louis in this series right here, where we end up losing the first game. The thing about this NL Central race is it's kind of lining up how it is expected to be in real life this year. A real very close race. The Brewers are in last place and they're only one game below 500, but we win a series with St. Louis there, heading into another series with Miami, who is pretty decent in their own right. Can we get the sweep here against them? Not quite. But then going ahead and facing series against San Diego here. Brian Hayes looks like he's a bit banged up. We're going to be getting Hudson Head back in 1 to 2 weeks though, so hopefully our offense can get a little bit burst from that when he comes back. And then Nick Garcia, a player who actually got taken in the Rule 5 draft from that pitching depth, he's been returned to our team. It says we have to put him on the 40-man, which is fine. We have plenty of spots, so we'll just go ahead and do that. Now it's gotten to May 20th. Hudson Head is about to come back. We're going to send him on a bit of a rehab assignment so he doesn't have any rust coming back. In his time in his replacement, Florial has been pretty bad. Kind of thinking that his run as a major leaguer might be over for us. He should be out of options soon, so we're just going to keep sending him down until we just have those options back. Priester goes down again. Pretty rough to see. Hopefully his career doesn't get derailed here, because I think that's definitely could be a possibility. We're banking on him being a very good arm for us. Kobos is still struggling in AAA. Not quite sure who we want to go with him. Instead, Maldonado, is he on the 40-man? He is not. Would prefer to go with someone on the 40-man here. Dotel is also struggling. Guess we should go with, we'll go with Kobos, even though he's struggling. And then here, as you can see, Priester actually is still suffering from that injury. Not almost 2 weeks later, but I'm about a week into it, so he's unknown now. It's going to be very tough to see, what ends up happening here with him. He goes down again. We've fallen into second place here. The Cardinals have just edged us out by a game. They've been playing very well in this last stretch, though. 8-2 in their last few games. All right, so we are about 2 months into the season, where I normally go ahead and go over the season stats. With that said, Hudson Head is probably about to come up. He's had a pretty sizable rehab assignment where he has raked. So we're going to go ahead and look to send someone down. It just is going to be Bay, just because we don't really have a spot for him. And he also wasn't performing very well. Head's going to go and slot back into left field. Ramos, we definitely want him playing in right field over Florial, that is for sure. So dude, again, after resetting his position, and he slots in there. Definitely do not want Florial playing over Ramos, especially how well he's been playing. So quick look at the stats. Morfett, another incredible season. Not quite as good as the last year. Really high BABIP though. Ali Sanchez not having the same offensive year he did last year, but that's fine. He's of course just a backup catcher who's good defensively. Logan Wyatt not hitting very well at all. Barely hitting for any power. Way below league average. Definitely not what you want from a first baseman. Morocco, he's struggling now. Nick Gonzalez has been dynamite for us. He is very good with the bat, pretty high BABIP, but he's been, probably our best offensive player, maybe our best overall player so far this year. Cabrian Hayes, he is doing Cabrian Hayes things, not hitting for that much power, but I would expect that to, fix itself kind of over the course of the year. And of course, we all know about his great defense that he plays at third base. Yohandy Morales is playing, pretty good. He's being a stud defensive shortstop, and on the 71 WRC plus, we'll take that for his defensive production. Improving our defense is one huge thing that he does. Us playing him at shortstop, instead of having to play Hayes there. So we'll take the offensive production from him. Hudson Head, of course, he just got back and hasn't really played since he just got back. Jing Shang playing very well, much better in that pinch hitting role than he was last year. Christian Robinson, very good to see that he's hitting. That BABIP is a bit high, but he, with Gonzalez, has probably been our best hitter this year, which is definitely not expected. I expected him to, just be fine this year, but he's already outperformed his partial season that he played in last year. So looks like maybe him being healthy really is contributing to him having a good season. And he also is doing pretty well defensively. So pretty good things from Christian Robinson. Florial, he continues to be not that good, although, all in all, this isn't, bad production to be getting from a bench outfielder. Palma, he is not hitting this year, which kind of stinks. Needs him to, of course, be our guy against left-handed pitching. And Ramos has been very good this year as well. We thought about trading him, and I'm kind of glad he didn't, because this kind of production from him is pretty good, although, he probably will not sustain it throughout the entire season. And then pitching-wise, of course, we'll actually go ahead and look at where we are. We are first in pitching in pretty much every metric. Our defense is also improved according to the zone rating, which is very good. Also not making many errors. Nice to see that we're improved there. Our offense is definitely somewhere where we can improve. As we, are kind of 2 months here, we have, probably another 2 months until we get to the deadline, really, or maybe so a month and a half until we make a move. Offense is definitely where we will be focusing our energies as pitching. We have good guys up now, and then a lot of depth as well. So pitching wise, Kobos continues to struggle. Looks like he's getting hit around a bit. Homers. He's allowing a ton of homers. About 2 per 9. That's definitely been his kryptonite in his 12 innings he's pitched. Kawasaki's actually been fine, which is kind of just what he is. His control's so bad that he's kind of hit or miss. He's gonna have a good year or a bad year. It looks like he's just in the middle of a kind of meh so far year. Rocker's struggling a bit. Hopefully he can pick it up. Looks like he's not striking out many guys compared to. Oh no, he's actually striking out more guys, huh? He's actually about where he has been his entire career at this point. So I guess a very rocker season so far. Notice that his ratings have dipped a bit as a starter. He's been fine so far. Wyman, one of our 2 lefties in the pen, he's been pretty decent for us. Actually getting some major league action this year. He has been pretty much dominating the minors in the past few years, and actually getting a shot this year. McKenzie is actually working out well as a starter. Of course, when we first acquired McKenzie and used him as a starter, he was not very good in that role. Now it looks like he's kind of settled in to that role, and he's been very good this year. FIP the mid-3. Gonzalez, he's pretty much consistent in the mid-3 FIP for us. Kirby, great season from him. Of course, a crazy control guy. Doesn't really walk anyone. Also has not been allowing any homers this year. So that if his homer rate does kind of go back up to where it was, he still should be a very good pitcher for us. So Nick Nelson, he continues to be absolute dynamite for us, our best starting pitcher pretty much every year. Him and Ryan Nelson, both of the Nelson guys there, and he's already 2.2 WAR in this season. Then Reggie Lawson continues to anchor down the bullpen for us, pitching very well. Wyatt Mills, he hasn't really gotten any major league time with us in the past few seasons, ever since we acquired him, pretty much at the throw-in trade, and he's been very good for us. Carson Montgomery, he's taken over the closer role for Priester. His ratings continue to go up. He has been dynamite, absolutely dominant as a closer for us this year. And then Jeff Hartlieb, of course, pretty much always just seems to pitch out of his mind for us in the bullpen, and he's got a FIP under 2 so far this year, not walking anyone, hasn't allowed a single homer yet this year in 23 innings, not walking anyone, striking out a good amount of guys. So he has been, a very good player for us so far this year. And yeah, so that's basically the first 2 months, kind of going through a little bit of during the season there. We're putting ourselves in a good position. I'm actually kind of curious to see what our expected win-loss is to this point. And we're playing 1 under where we should be, according to that. The rest of our division, we're kind of looking to separate ourselves a little bit. It looks like us and the Cardinals have kind of separated ourselves from everyone else. Reds, Brewers, and Cubs kind of all seem to be kind of the same quality. Back a bit of us. Right now we're leading the wild card race, and the Dodgers and Giants are pretty much tied for that. So, these teams are not. I'm definitely not out of it. All these middling teams here, and even the teams in our division. But I think as long as we continue to play well, we should have no problems. At least making the postseason. Although, of course, my personal goal is to win the division, because all of those Pirates teams in the 2010s that ended up making the playoffs, they made the playoffs a few years in a row, but they did not win the division in any of these years. So that is our goal, to try to win the division, so we don't have to deal with that pesky wild card game in the first round of the playoffs. So again, thank you for watching. Let me know if you like me following more of the beginning of the season. I didn't really go series by series, but I might even go in more depth. I think it definitely makes an impact, seeing the injuries in real time happen, get my reaction to them, see how I cover them at the moment, and things like that. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next episode.